Hello everybody. It's time to give you an update as to how the veggie beds are coming on versus the plan that I had. If you remember, I made a plan out in PowerPoint that had the vegetables laid out nicely in a make-believe bed for veggie bed 1 and veggie bed 2 and veggie bed 3. So I will show you how two of the beds are coming on. We're going to start with veggie bed 2. I basically took out all the mulch, which was based on wood shavings, and I laid a bed of, I sprinkled actually some fertilizer on the surface, and it was basically a 10-10-10. I was concerned that the mulch, which was based on wood shavings, had been taking nitrogen from the bed, so I wasn't sure. I did it anyway, and then on that I put my compost that I'd been preparing. So I laid a layer of compost, and the bed was ready for planting. So I took my onion seedlings and I planted it in the bed just like I had planned, and I did the same with there was going to be a row of beetroots, and that's in the bed as well. So it's been coming on very, very nicely. It is now mid-March, and I'm very pleased with the progress. Let's go and have a look. So this is veggie bed 2. I've got the sun from the other side, so let me move around. I think you can probably see it better like this. Veggie bed 2, you can see the onions are coming up very, very nicely. Just for perspective, here's my hand. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of onions, and I have 1 row here of garlic, just as the plan I made said I should. And as you can tell, I've been doing a little bit of cleaning up, and the bed's looking great. The onions are looking nice. They are going to be ready for harvest round about May, which is the time that we harvest them here in Kaniso. But you can see they're starting to form a very nice base. Most of them. We've had some wind and they were quite battered, but they've recovered quite nicely. And the row of beetroots are also doing great. These beetroots, sorry about my shadow, these beetroots are what you call Pablo F1, the Pablo F1, and they are beginning to take some shape. I'm going to let them grow for some more. I've got plenty of beetroot from the other bed, from veggie bed 1, which we've been using, and those are starting to run out, so these will be ready just now. So very nice. I've got 2 plants here which are peppers, and they're right in the middle of the onions. This one's doing all right. It's got some flowers coming in there, no peppers yet. Remember, we are in March, and there's another pepper plant there struggling in between the onions. They offered these pepper plants a lot of protection, the onions did, last year, and I trimmed them back quite a lot, and now the peppers are starting to grow again. So that's it for veggie bed 2. Okay, and now veggie bed 1 is the one where I'm going to grow all my nightshades. So I've got eggplants in there, I've got peppers which were overwintered. The peppers were overwintered in the bed. I didn't actually remove them. That's the brilliant thing about living in zone 11B. And I've got some new eggplants, and they don't grow eggs. For the people that don't know, they are called aubergines in other parts of the world, but we call them eggplants. So those are in. I'm using the spaces in between those plants to grow lettuce, and I've got some onions in there as well to protect more for companion planting. Okay, so here's veggie bed 1. This is where I'm going to have my tomatoes, my peppers, and my eggplants. And so what I have at the moment is the end of a season for the peas. We've been harvesting these for the last 2 months, and it's been great, but they're coming to the end of their life now, their life cycle. You can see they've been attacked by a fungus of some sorts, and I cannot compete with it anymore. I've been doing everything possible to get rid of it, but as the plants age they become weaker, and so I'm not going to do it anymore. They're not providing anything else. You can see the last peas are almost empty. There's one or two that have still got some peas in there, like this one, but the others are all thin like this. So I'm going to pull these out, get the soil ready to get the tomatoes in there as per the plan. And then on the rest of the bed I have the peppers over here on this section of the bed, and I have the eggplants on this side here. Incidentally, these are called brinjelas in Portuguese and brinjals in South Africa. So aubergines, brinjals, eggplants, they're all the same thing. So let's start on this side. So these plants are the peppers. They have been overwintered here. They were pruned right back, and these are starting to recover. These are the old leaves that were overwintering here. I'm going to have to pull these off because they're diseased and old, but the new ones are looking good. So over here I have a jalapeno pepper plant which is already starting to give flower. Remember, we're in March, so it's fantastic to be here. And I have another jalapeno over there. It's a transplant. I'm not sure that's going to survive though. It's struggling, so I'm going to have to plant a new set of seedlings. I've got a habanero there which also didn't make it, and then these are all sweet peppers. I already have one growing over there, which is very nice to see in March. And then on this side I have the eggplants. These seedlings were transplanted here not too long ago. And in between I have lettuce of various types, and as I use them I will take these out and put in new ones. So it's a nice bed, because while the nightshades are growing year round, I can use the spaces in between to get additional crops. As you see, I've got some onions in the middle row, and they offer protection from some pests to these plants as they grow. So I've done it again this year. These onions grew quite large last year, so let's see what happens this year. And incidentally, I planted a row of radishes to act as a trap plant for the pests that normally attack nightshades, and they've been very effective last year. But look at the size of these things. Look how much they've grown. They look like huge potatoes. I've never seen these plants do that. So they've obviously done very well. Those are going to have to come off because they're too big, and I'm going to plant a new row of radishes. They're nice and small. They've quite overwhelmed that pepper plant over there, and there's a pepper plant over there too, trying to survive with this huge radish growing next door. Anyway, so that's the story with veggie bed 1. I should say that I also treated this bed. I took off all the mulch that was on top here. Again, it was sawdust or wood shavings to be more precise, and then I put in a layer of fertilizer at 10-10-10, and then I covered it with a compost and soil, just like I did with veggie bed 2. So the plants seem to like it, and I think I've done a good job, so I'm ready for the season. So that's it for today. Oh, I wanted to show you one more thing. Watch this. Do you remember, for those that have been here a while, I planted some strawberries last year at about this time, maybe slightly later, in a rain drain, a rain gutter. And these strawberry plants are so productive. We kept harvesting strawberries right through the year, and it slowed down slightly in November, December, and then in January I got a lot of dry ones like this. But generally it's an amazing plant. It's producing strawberries all the time. You just got to get the fertilizer mix right, and these plants are very, very productive. So that's it. You've seen veggie bed 2 according to the plan, and it's coming out nicely. Veggie bed 1 behind me is going to get transformed, getting its spring tomatoes planted in there, and then I'll show you what's happening with bed number 3 in another video. And I still want to show you what my orchard is doing like, my small orchard with mini or very small fruit trees. But that's for next time. Have a good week, everybody. Don't forget to like, press subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when you get more videos. Cheers!